In 2025, something massive is happening behind Koenigsegg's closed doors, and it's not just another upgrade. No one else can do what they're doing, and if you want it, you can't get anywhere else. Words like new engine wipe the floor, and electric cars have started circling after a cryptic statement from the CEO himself. We never stop developing it because it gives enormous freedom to combustion engine. No flashy launch, no teaser campaign. Just a quiet decision that could upend everything we thought we knew about the future of performance. If you think the EV race is already won, think again, because Koenigsegg might be about to pull off the unthinkable, and no one's ready for what's coming next. The R of speed has always been Koenigsegg's obsession, and from the beginning, they've never followed trends. While the rest of the automotive world chased lap times with bloated engineering teams and badge prestige, Christian von Koenigsegg was building rockets disguised as cars out of a small factory in Ängelholm, Sweden. No big marketing budgets, no legacy to coast on, just one relentless mission: create the fastest, most innovative machines on the planet and prove that one company could out-engineer the giants. The first car, the CC8S, was a warning shot, followed by the CCR, which briefly held the title of the world's fastest production car. But it wasn't until the Adra RS that the world truly paid attention. In 2017, it shattered the production car speed record at 277.9 miles per hour, without breaking a sweat, embarrassing the competition. While others obsessed over traction control, Koenigsegg was rewriting physics. But this obsession was never just about straight-line speed. Every detail, from the monocoque tub to the triplex suspension, reflected philosophy. Everything must serve performance, and anything that doesn't goes. No fluff, no gimmicks, just raw engineering. That's what sets Koenigsegg apart. It's not just about horsepower, but control, balance, and ingenuity. Then came the Regera, a car without a traditional gearbox, using a direct drive system that eliminated gear changes entirely, delivering seamless acceleration with hybrid torque that could turn your insides to soup, yet still feeling elegant, like the world's fastest grand piano. Behind all of it is Christian himself, part inventor, part speed freak, part philosopher, one saying, "Why do we build fast cars? Because we can." But there's purpose in the madness. He's obsessed with thermodynamics, power-to-weight ratios, and extracting more energy from less fuel, sketching engine concepts on napkins, and bringing them to life in 6 months. Every Koenigsegg model is a result of years of trial, failure, reinvention, and finally, perfection. And when they reach perfection, they start over. They hand-craft components others outsource, invent their own carbon fiber, and build 3D printers just to make titanium exhaust tips. Every avoided shortcut is a second shaved off the track, and this mindset turned Koenigsegg from a boutique supercar maker into a name that keeps Ferrari and Bugatti up at night. While the industry charges into an electric future, Koenigsegg remains cautious, not reluctant, just methodical, because Christian knows speed alone doesn't win, innovation does. Sometimes the fastest car isn't the one that hits 300 miles per hour, but the one that dares to ask, what if we did things completely differently? Koenigsegg is always chasing that question, and lately, they seem to have an answer that could flip the entire game on its head. Enter the Gemera, dubbed the family car track monster. When Koenigsegg announced it, people thought it was a prank. A 4-seater Grand Tourer from the same brand that builds fighter jet Dord, NASA-scaring hypercars didn't make sense. Until it did. The Gemera wasn't just a family car. It was a family car, fitting 4 adults with luggage while out-accelerating a Bugatti Chiron. It was a dare, not a compromise. Luxury meets lunacy, practicality fused with power. Under the skin was a tiny friendly giant, TFG, a 2.0L 3-cylinder engine producing 600 horsepower via twin turbos and camless free valve tech. No cams, no belts, just software controlling every valve in real time. It could shut off cylinders mid-drive or change breathing patterns depending on throttle input, making it both small and terrifyingly efficient. But Koenigsegg didn't stop at combustion. They added 3 electric motors, one for each rear wheel and one on the crankshaft, combining with a TFG for a staggering 1,700 horsepower. It could run purely electric, purely gas, or a brutal hybrid mix, delivering over 600 miles of range. Enough to go from Stockholm to Paris in one go without slowing down. Design-wise, it looked like a Koenigsegg, sleek, low, aggressive, but with massive clamshell doors, no-B pillars, and a cabin like a Scandinavian lounge. For bucket seats, full infotainment for all passengers, and even cup holders, yes, in a Koenigsegg. Despite its size, it handled like a car half its weight, thanks to active rear-wheel steering, torque vectoring, and a carbon monocoque chassis. While other brands struggled to make electric SUVs feel sporty, Koenigsegg had built a four-seater that could drift with grandma in the back. And as always, there's more than meets the eye, because even the original Gemera spec wasn't the final form. Rumors from the factory suggest an even more powerful version with a different engine, something that could change everything. In 2023, Koenigsegg confirmed the Gemera would be offered with a hot V8 from the Jesko as an option, meaning 2,300 horsepower in a family car. No, seriously, this wasn't about chasing EVs. It was about staying ahead of them. While the world waited for Koenigsegg to go fully electric, the company kept proving there's still a smarter, more thrilling way. One that doesn't rely on heavy batteries or artificial noise, but on real mechanical drama, with just enough volts to make things even scarier. The JRA showed Koenigsegg could blend everyday usability with record-breaking performance, but insiders hinted the Gemera was also a testing ground for something even more extreme. Behind the scenes, a new formula was brewing, one that didn't just push boundaries, but ignore them entirely. The dark matter motor. Koenigsegg has never shied away from doing things differently, but with dark matter, they didn't just step out of the box. They vaporized it. This single electric motor setup for production, JRA sent a clear message. Forget what you know about EV powertrains. Dark matter is a 6-phase axial flux motor, combining radial and axial flux designs into one compact, brutally efficient unit. It produces 800 horsepower and 1,250 newton-meters of torque from a single motor. No dual setups, no gimmicks. Just concentrated power small enough to fit in a carry-on bag. Most automakers still use traditional 3-phase motors, which are reliable but limited. Koenigsegg's 6-phase architecture spreads workload evenly, reduces heat, and boosts torque delivery, resulting in fewer moving parts, less heat soak, and consistent performance whether you're cruising or launching like your life depends on it. The design is strategic. 2. Paired with Koenigsegg's bespoke torque converter and inverter tech, the motor delivers real-time response with almost no energy loss. Every surge is immediate, every corner handled with surgical precision, and the compact size frees up space for better weight distribution and other systems. The original JRA prototype had 3 electric motors, one on each rear wheel and one on the crankshaft, but this added weight and complexity. With dark matter, Koenigsegg achieved better results using just one motor. Christian von Koenigsegg called it an entirely new direction, and it's more than just a component. It's a philosophy: efficiency over excess, precision over bulk. Where others add more hardware, Koenigsegg refines, streamlines, and simplifies without compromise. The beauty of dark matter isn't just in the specs. It's in how it feels. Instant torque, no lag, no hesitation, just quiet, violent acceleration that seems to cheat physics. It's what electric motors should have been from the start. An enabler, not a limiter. And yet, dark matter is not the endgame. If Koenigsegg went this far for an 800 horsepower hybrid motor, what's hiding in the prototype lab? Christian has only hinted. We've only just begun exploring what this technology can really do. If dark matter was Koenigsegg's love letter to electric precision, the optional hot V8 for the JRA was their unapologetic return to brute force combustion, borrowed straight from the Jesko, one of the most savage hypercars ever built. This 5.0L twin-turbo monster replaced the JRA's original 3-cylinder free-valve engine for those who wanted more. To make it fit, Koenigsegg redesigned the rear end, removed the backseat storage, and dropped in the V8, producing 1,500 horsepower from the engine alone. When paired with dark matter, the hybrid system delivered a staggering 2,300 horsepower and 2,750 newton-meters of torque, more than most full-size semis, in a road-legal 4-seater. But the hot V8 wasn't just about numbers. Every component, from the turbos to the crankshaft, was designed in-house, lighter than expected, with a lower center of gravity and a focus on responsiveness as much as speed. This wasn't recycled hardware. It was a meticulously engineered statement that internal combustion, in the right hands, is far from dead. Even the sound had its own character. While electric motors were, the hot V8 roars deep, angry, guttural. The kind of noise that sets off car alarms in parking garages and leaves passengers with wide eyes and weak knees. Koenigsegg could have muted it, could have added artificial tones like everyone else. But they didn't, because why would you dull the soundtrack of a fire-breathing V8? That blend of past and future is what makes this setup so disruptive. On paper, it's the opposite of what the industry is chasing, but in practice, it might be the smartest move Koenigsegg has ever made. EVs are quick, sure, but many of them feel sterile. The thrill fades once the novelty wears off. What Koenigsegg offers is a reminder that driving isn't just about numbers. It's about experience, engagement, and feeling like you're part of something alive. The hot V8 proves hybrids don't have to feel like compromises. In Koenigsegg's world, a hybrid is a tactical advantage, blending the explosive power of combustion with the instant torque of electric drive, giving you the best of both without the limitations of either. Unlike many plug-in hybrids that feel patched together, the JRA system was designed from the ground up to work as one fluid unit. Still, as extreme as this engine is, something about the way Koenigsegg presented it felt temporary, almost like it was a stepping stone. Christian von Koenigsegg never said it was a final word, carefully referring to it in interviews as one of several configurations the company was exploring. Which begs the question, why create something this powerful only to hint there's more? Maybe the hot V8 wasn't meant to be the crown jewel. Maybe it's just a loud distraction before the quiet revolution, something to keep people entertained while the real breakthrough is perfected in secret. Because if Koenigsegg is offering this much firepower now, what are they getting ready to drop next? Koenigsegg's silent war on the EV industry is telling. Christian von Koenigsegg isn't known for throwing punches. He's known for building machines that do the talking. But if you look closely, he's been waging a quiet war against the electric vehicle industry. Not with loud declarations, but with careful moves, strategic tech, and one persistent question. Is full electrification really the answer? On the surface, Koenigsegg appears aligned with the future. Hybrids, advanced electric motors, even plug-in capability. But beneath the carbon fiber panels lies resistance, not innovation, but a conformity. While the industry rushes toward all-electric, Koenigsegg keeps asking what's being sacrificed in the process. Christian has voiced in interviews, never too blunt, but always clear. He believes electric cars can be brilliant, but they can also be boring. He's not impressed by neck-snapping 0 to 60 times alone. He's interested in connection, engagement, and engineering elegance. And he knows most EVs today are weighed down by massive batteries and energy loss, often requiring complex software just to make them feel remotely exciting. So Koenigsegg took a different path. Instead of going fully electric, they leaned into ultra-efficient hybrids. The Regera, for example, skipped the gearbox and married a twin-turbo V8 to 3 electric motors, resulting in seamless acceleration without any gear changes. The JRA took that further, offering either a camless 3-cylinder hybrid or a monster V8 paired with an 800 AHP electric motor. They didn't copy Tesla or Rimac. They built a system that reflected their own vision of performance. And performance is where it gets interesting. While many EVs are marketed as the new kings of speed, Koenigsegg has quietly beaten them at their own game. Their hybrids are lighter, their systems more efficient, and their top speed still out of reach for most electric-only vehicles. In testing, Koenigsegg setups maintain performance over time. Less thermal fade, less battery stress, and less of that hollow feeling that comes with a silent, soulless ride. But Christian's critique goes deeper. It's not just about weight or handling. It's about the kind of future we're building. He's spoken candidly about the downsides of battery production, the environmental costs, the mining, the resource limitations. In contrast, Koenigsegg is experimenting with biofuels, synthetic fuels, and lighter energy storage solutions that don't rely on rare earth metals. To him, a sustainable future shouldn't just be clean, it should be clever. Of course, he knows where the industry is heading. Regulations are tightening, EV mandates are coming, which is why Koenigsegg is investing heavily in electric technology, but on their own terms. They're not just building electric motors, they're redefining them. The dark matter motor is proof. Small, efficient, brutally powerful, and designed to eliminate the need for multiple heavy motors altogether. The irony? While the rest of the auto world spends billions catching up with Tesla, Koenigsegg is already operating in a different dimension. Their motors aren't just efficient, they're integrated. Their hybrids don't just comply with regulations, they outperform everything around them. And Christian? He's not chasing trends, he's setting new ones. Still, there's something else brewing, something unrevealed. Insiders have reported strange test rigs, patents with abstract diagrams, and quiet recruitment of energy specialists from outside the automotive world. There's a feeling inside the company, hard to pin down but impossible to ignore, that something big is coming. It won't just be an update or a facelift. It'll be a challenge, a statement, maybe even a declaration of war against the idea that electric cars have already won. That decision came in 2025, after months of uncharacteristic silence, the kind that only means something big is brewing. Christian von Koenigsegg finally emerged measured, calm, and as always precise. Sitting across from a small group of engineers and close partners, he leaned forward and said the words that would set the tone for everything to follow. I made my decision. It's time. What followed wasn't a teaser or flashy concept. It was an engine, a brand new combustion engine, not a modified V8, not a scaled-up TFG, and definitely not a placeholder for electrification. This was Koenigsegg's answer to a question no one else in the industry seemed brave enough to ask anymore. What if combustion still had more to give? Built from scratch, compact, aggressive, and impossibly efficient. It runs on synthetic e-fuel, produces near-zero emissions, and weighs less than any comparable power plant Koenigsegg has ever developed. The design is entirely new, short-stroke, high-revving, with quad turbos and a free-breathing valve system that responds in milliseconds to driver input. Every component was optimized for responsiveness, thermal efficiency, and power delivery. And the power figures? Let's just say this engine alone puts out numbers most electric hypercars still struggle to reach with dual motors. But it's not about raw output. It's about the feel, the way it pulls from idle, the balance it brings when paired with Koenigsegg's already cutting-edge electric drive systems. It doesn't replace the electric motor. It elevates it, Christian explained. We weren't interested in building a nostalgia piece. We wanted to create something that could outperform what's out there now and lead where others are following. And then, with a slight grin, Koenigsegg's CEO delivered a line now echoing across the automotive world. This new engine will wipe the floor with all-electric cars in 2025. It wasn't bravado. It was confidence backed by years of obsessive development. While other manufacturers leaned harder into batteries, Koenigsegg went back to first principles, rethinking what an engine could be in a world obsessed with silent speed and synthetic thrills. The result isn't rebellion, it's a revelation. This isn't the end of Koenigsegg's hybrid future. It's the foundation of it. An engine that brings the emotion back to performance. An engine that doesn't just survive the electric age, but challenges it. And if Christian's right, it may have just redefined what comes next. So now the question is, if Koenigsegg just built a machine that outperforms every EV and keeps the soul of driving alive, is the electric revolution already outdated before it even peaked?